Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I'm Veenu Sandhu. It's the 28th of July 2023 and here are the questions that we will be answering today. Why do so few Indians pay income tax? Will the X factor help revive Twitter? Can the Jio-BlackRock JV stir the AMC pot? And what is a gigafactory? A record 74 million people filed income tax returns in the assessment year 2022-23, but around 70% reported no tax liability. A year before this, 69.4 million people had filed income tax returns, but close to 73% reported no tax liability. So why do so few Indians pay taxes? Ayush Mishra finds out.
Direct tax collection in India stood at 16.61 trillion rupees in the financial year 2022-23. It was 16.97% higher than budget estimates and 11,000 crore rupees or 0.69% higher than the revised estimate. In FY22, the country's direct tax collection was 14.12 trillion rupees. The gross personal income tax collection provisional in FY 2022-23 was 9.6 trillion rupees, a sharp jump of 24%. Direct tax is levied on individuals or businesses based on their income or profits, while indirect tax modes include GST, customs duty, and tax deducted at the source. Meanwhile, 74 million tax returns were filed in the financial year 2022-23, according to data disclosed in Parliament on Monday. But 51.2 million or 70% of these was zero tax ITRs. Even as the number of ITRs have increased 14% in 4 years through FY23, the number of zero tax ITR filers have increased by 77% during the period to 51.2 million. So, why do so few Indians pay income tax?
First of all, the structure of the Indian economy does not provide for a larger tax base under the current regulatory scenario. So today we have about 6.5 crore Indians who file tax returns, but effective taxpayers are only about 1.2% of the population. So which means that aren't the remaining 98.8% not paying? The answer is no, because we have a robust system of GST collection, consumption tax, which is why the analogy of saying only 1.2% Indians effectively pay tax is misfounded. Yes, as far as direct taxes are concerned, the number of people who pay are low, primarily because our tax rates start only post 5 or 6 lakhs per annum, which more than 2/3 of Indian households are effectively outside.
While as an economy we are growing, the fact still remains that a lot of wealth creation is in the hands of the rich, and the poor may not be growing at an equal pace as the rich may be growing. Therefore, for them to come to a level where they form a part of the tax base is going to be take some doing, and I think we are a few years away from that.
And how can the government increase the tax base?
I think we are on the right track by digitizing almost all the touch points, which would bring the informal sector under the ambit of income tax. Currently, our informal sector is anticipated to be more than 90% in India. So if we keep moving a serious percentage, even small 4-5% a year into the direct tax and the organized ambit, that would be a significant uptick. Second, which the government has already started, is widening the tax collected at source network, what we call the TCS provisions, right from all major acquisitions, be it vehicles, homes, high value purchases. I think the government is bringing in an indirect form of income tax by making them compulsory. Recent scenario of LRS transactions coming under the ambit of TCS net even foreign vacation expenses now likely to come under the ambit of TCS net. I think all these are modes which the government is bringing in.
And what are the challenges involved in increasing the tax base?
The ambit for expansion now would mean stricter enforcement. But stricter enforcement effectively means in an era of mobile human capital, you would end up losing. Already, India is losing at least 10,000 millionaires a year to places like Singapore, Dubai, Australia. So we wouldn't want to be losing more and more of our wealthy consumers to these friendlier jurisdictions. If the government can manage the political backlash, taxing agricultural income, at least those in the higher end with larger land holdings or larger sources of income, if we can begin with, that could be a great. It's a sitting landmine of opportunities which we are not able to bring them under the ambit of taxation, which is why this is a political challenge, not necessarily an economic.
Meanwhile, stricter enforcement of rules will also go a long way in increasing tax compliance. And the government, it seems, is taking steps in that direction. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Monday said that the Income Tax Department has sent 100,000 notices in cases where assessees have either not declared income or have underreported income.
It is not just in India. People around the world want to save money on taxes. Elon Musk recently slammed US President Joe Biden's call for more taxes on super wealthy Americans. Moving on, Musk is on a different mission these days. Twitter as we know it seems to be nearing its end. The blue bird has been shooed away. Tweets will now be called X's, and Musk's obsession with the letter X has now been cemented into a new brand logo. But will the X factor help revive the fortunes of the social media giant? Debarrio Sanyals reads between the tweets, or should we say X's for the answer?
Elon Musk on July 25 unveiled a new white on black X logo for the desktop version of the social media network erstwhile known as Twitter. He did this through his profile picture. He said posts on the social network will no longer be called tweets. Instead, they will be called X's. Minutes after Musk's tweet, the microblogging site's chief executive Linda Yaccarino said X will foray into payments and banking apart from its usual audio and video sharing and messaging. Her tweet also suggested that a lot of it will be powered by artificial intelligence. Musk bought Twitter last year for $44 billion and merged the company into an entity called X Corp. This move, he said, was an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. It's similar to China's WeChat, offering services including mobile payments and social media under one umbrella. If the change goes through, Twitter as we know it will cease to exist not only in its name and brand, but also the very format of its service offerings. Meanwhile, a study conducted by researchers across major US universities showed that under Musk, the social media platform has fared poorer than before. The variety and frequency of bot attacks went up after his acquisition. Hate speech increased. Transparency norms worsened. In February, he announced that the company will discontinue offering free access to the Twitter API and will launch a paid version. This has, of course, affected the blue brand's value. Consulting firm Brand Finance estimates Twitter's brand value might have fallen nearly 32% since last year. Musk's latest move to rename and change the logo might have already wiped out anywhere between $4 billion and $20 billion in value, analysts and brand agencies estimated. A day after the rebranding, X Corp took an unconventional route to win brands back. According to media report, it offered 50% of any new bookings of video ads until July 31 in an email sent to advertisers. In the same email, the company also warned advertisers that from August 7, the accounts of their brands will lose their verification badge, a golden checkmark, if they do not spend at least $1,000 on ads in the previous 30 days or $6,000 in the previous 180 days. Despite these measures wiping away Twitter from the popular lexicon or recreating its iconic brand narrative will be a mammoth task for Musk and his team. After all, phrases like tweeting, Twitterati, or Twitterpretation have acquired linguistic currency. It's what made Twitter the slate for a unique social language. Some experts believe the renaming and change of logo has thrown the brand narrative of the company in a tizzy, and there are lots of questions that needs to be answered.
This entire change of name is going to represent a complete change of lexicon as far as social media is concerned, particularly when it comes to the Bluebird, Twitter, Twitterati, and everything that revolves around it. There's going to be plenty of dissonance. A lot of people are going to feel uncomfortable about it. You know, advertisers are sitting on the fence. Brands love stability. Does X have that X factor? And what is that X factor? Now, definition of that X factor is very important to come out to marketers and to advertisers. So Mr. Elon Musk needs to answer what it is. The idea seems to be to say that I own X. I am all about everything that revolves around X. And therefore, anything that I acquire, for instance, Twitter, will also get rebranded.
Others point out that X already has a brand narrative, Musk himself.
It is a very powerful tool and which can be used as a ready-made pickup for him. I don't think he's going to lose that. They are saying we are going to augment it further by adding various other features. But the basic core of the brand will still remain the same. Now, whether you call it brand X or Y or Z, it's not going to be much of a deterrence for me. It's only the logo will change. The policies and the protocols definitely are going to be put in. Whether you call it brand X or Twitter, yeah, I mean, you may say the Bluebird has become a very visible symbol. I mean, if I look at it from purely graphical sense, X is equally strong. Elon Musk equal to X is any case entrenched in people's mind. Just the brand name itself, yeah, it is not going to be much of a problem.
However, brand strategists agree that Twitter will no longer be the same and Musk's revamp is much more complex than just a rebranding exercise. But it is too early to pin down the after effects in definite terms. With Musk's history of introducing rapid and surprising changes for the microblogging site, the future of Twitter, X, seems uncertain.
After Twitter, let us move on to another US giant. BlackRock is re-entering India. This time, it has joined forces with Jio Financial Services to foray into India's asset management sector. With an initial investment of $300 million, the joint venture aims to deliver tech-enabled access to affordable, innovative investment solutions to investors in India. So how is the market perceiving the development, and will it be a game changer for the sector? As an investor, should you stay away from AMC stocks till there is more clarity on the JV's business plans? Here is a deep dive from Nikita Vasisht.
BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager that manages $9.4 trillion worth of assets, is coming back to India's 44 trillion rupees asset management industry. On July 26th, it announced a partnership with Jio Financial Services. The 50-50 joint venture will be called Geo-BlackRock. So how is the market perceiving this development, and will it be a game changer for the sector?
So this joint venture is certain to stir the pot in the asset management industry. Of course, over the course of the period, this joint venture, like any other new entrant in the space, will have to traverse a long, winding path to build credibility and attract faith in their value proposition. However, considering that this is not BlackRock's first stint in the Indian environment and in the Indian asset management space, one can expect it to start off with a much firm footing on the back of the context and learnings and experience that it had 4 to 5 years back. Geo might be ahead of most new players in terms of acquiring trust for the brand and enabling a large scale distribution ecosystem.
At the bourses, shares of related players ended mixed on Thursday, July 27th. By comparison, the benchmark S&P BSE Sensex dipped 0.6%. Analysts believe the move may not put a severe dent in the fortunes of the incumbent industry players, at least for now.
Just because you have resources and name, it is not going to, you are not going to capture the market day one. The kind of resources BlackRock and Reliance have, they can deploy the best talent is available in the world. So therefore, I think the market is yet to understand fully the implications. It will be significantly negative, but it is not going to be a disaster.
Though Jio-BlackRock has not disclosed its plans yet, analysts at Kotak Institutional Equities believe near absence of distribution incentives and low retail adoption has capped retail investing in passive funds at less than 2%. The Jio-BlackRock JV can potentially create maximum value disruption here through captive distribution. As an investment strategy, analysts suggest investors stay put in shares of those AMCs where market capitalization to asset under management valuation is not stretched. However, they believe the markets may discount growth expectations in the medium term. Overall, the Jio-BlackRock joint venture doesn't pose a threat to incumbent players till its growth roadmap is revealed. On July 28th, Q1 FY24 results of India Inc. and Japan's interest rate decision will be tracked by investors. They will also react to the US economy's second quarter GDP number.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Analysts, meanwhile, have been bullish on stocks of the electric vehicle sector. The sector is seeing rapid growth. Elon Musk recently expressed his interest in opening EV battery cell gigafactories in India. The Tata Group is also planning a gigafactory in the United Kingdom. But what is a gigafactory? Abhijit Kumar explains.
A few weeks ago, Elon Musk expressed his interest in opening EV battery cell gigafactories in India to expand the sale of Tesla cars in Asia. On July 19th, the Tata Group followed, announcing plans to establish a global battery cell gigafactory in the United Kingdom to be operational from 2026. This would be the first gigafactory for EV batteries by Tata outside India and one of the largest ever investments in the UK automotive sector. A gigafactory is a large-scale manufacturing unit, specially for rechargeable batteries that are used in electric vehicles. The term was originally made famous by automotive giant Tesla Inc. The term has since then been adopted for a general reference to factories producing batteries on a large scale. According to Niti Aayog's definition, a gigafactory is a facility with battery manufacturing capacities over 5 gigawatt-hours a year. The production process of rechargeable batteries comprises a lot of separate components, lab analysis, and research. The three major phases of activities of the battery production process are electrode manufacturing, cell assembly and training, aging and tests that validate the performance of the battery cells. A gigafactory brings these different processes in one place and leverages economies of scale by driving high production volumes. The number of gigafactories worldwide is on the rise, driven by the global shift towards electric vehicles. China dominates the market, accounting for a significant 78% of global battery manufacturing. The United States follows with 8% and Europe with 7%. According to a note jointly released by Niti Aayog and Raza Microelectronics Inc., India's battery demand is projected to surge to 260 GWh annually by 2025, up from the current 10 GWh. Meeting this increased demand will require at least 26 gigafactories by 2030, each with an average advanced battery production capacity of 10 GWh per year. India has no manufacturing plant of this scale currently. Under the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme for Advanced Chemistry Cell Battery Storage, Reliance New Energy, Ola Electric Mobility, and Rajesh Exports were selected for building gigafactories in India. Soon after, billionaires Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani announced their plans to build gigafactories in the country. The BHEL Lipcoin Consortium has planned to build the largest lithium-ion manufacturing facility in India. Amara Raja Group has also set up a lithium-ion battery tech hub in Telangana.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
Tesla, meanwhile, is reportedly looking at potential sites in southern India and Gujarat to set up its gigafactory. Well, that's all for today. For more news and analysis, please log into business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.